The crazy thing about Netflix coming back with Joanna Swisher again is like you could find a more queer friendly straight host that's out there. There's the straight girlies out there that's like that's my thing. It's just like it's so awkward to have her. No one has any ties to her. She's not a
No.
part of anything. Like you could have gotten Natasha Leone. Like it just doesn't make any sense to
Could
have.
you imagine?
Can you imagine?
This is Shana,
And Kris.
and we are Bad Queers. If you came out of the closet and got put in a box of stereotypes you don't belong to, then welcome to the Bad Queers Club.
All right, this week in Queer Urban Dictionary, I have lavender marriage. Lavender marriage, which is generally refers to two people entering a heterosexual seeming marriage to hide their queerness. Often this involves a lesbian and gay man exchanging vows. Deeper dive into this is historically lavender marriages were a way that queer and trans people would hide in the open and protect each other or themselves from rumors about their sexuality. You saw it a lot in old Hollywood with things that came out. I feel like the Black Mirror episode, which I don't know if you've seen yet,
Haven't seen it.
that haven't seen it. Emma Corrin's character, there, uh, someone who would probably should have been in a lavender marriage, but was a closeted old Hollywood actress. So, yeah, it was a thing. I saw that it's actually making its way back in a positive way, where it's lesbian gay friends deciding to get together and procreate and family build and get married. I thought was like, okay, that's cool. That makes sense. I mean, I think there's certainly somebody. I feel like every lesbian has a gay friend that they're like, I'd marry you if I had to. Yeah. Do you have
I
one?
definitely do. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
like, wait a minute. Let me test this
yeah.
theory. You're like, no.
No, I think I have a
It's like,
couple.
well, all right. Okay. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no, just one for me, but marriage, just one. But, some of them, maybe. Look, I would get engaged to a couple of them and
Yeah.
then have to walk away
I think I
dramatically.
have I have two definitely. But there's one
Mm,
key one and then another one that
yeah.
I could do, but we would be the most dramatic couple
Yeah.
like of that for my second friend.
Yeah.
My first friend, it would be, we're fine. You do what I say.
That
I
second one, it'd be
all of the
like,
things. The
should
second
we
one,
should
we
we
would be
invite them?
battling, but it
Should we
would be
invite them?
wonderful.
Let them
But
come
we
to the
would be
party.
we would be a stereotypical straight couple of like arguing and debating
At the
all the
party.
time, but
At
it
the
would be
party.
fine. Where like the first one would definitely be lavender marriage and like, all right, two friends getting together, doing
Yeah.
the things.
Yeah. Shout out to lavender marriages and anybody considering one for positive reasons.
Yes.
So, you know, what you got?
All right. My Queer Urban Dictionary word of the week is established relationship energy or ERE. I don't know if we pronounce it like air or not.
Why not? If
I
we have Otta Hobbit, I feel like anything can,
honestly, honestly.
And happy, we passed it, right? Or we
Yes,
passed
we
it.
did.
Otta Hobbit.
Yes. Yes.
Happy Ida Hobbit to
Yeah.
folks. I think that's also something we got to rework because anything with Idaho in it, I don't
Mm.
think for us.
You can't have
I don't think
Idaho
it's for
without
us.
Idaho.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I want
Yeah,
Idaho. So
that's fair. That's
we'll
fair.
table it.
Well,
We'll table
it's,
it.
we'll circle back. So, established relationship energy is a term used in opposition to new relationship energy, or NRE, which we have defined on here before, as a more positively connotated alternative to old relationship energy. It means the comfortable feeling of a longer term relationship, and sometimes abbreviated ERE.
Hmm. Yeah,
So
airy.
there you go.
We'll call it airy.
ERE.
Whatever you called it.
All right. So, yes. All right. Well, we got a lot to talk about for our category is. So, we're going to go ahead and praise, pray, tell. We're going to jump into our first category is, which is if you haven't seen in the news, the San Francisco activists want to reclaim the site of historic Compton's cafeteria protest. So, if you have not heard about this, a rally in San Francisco happened recently that brought attention to an ongoing effort to liberate the site of the 1966 Compton cafeteria riot. This incident happened 3 years before Stonewall and is seen as one of the first watershed moments in modern LGBTQ plus rights movement in the US, but is not talked about very often. All right, so protesters draped two banners over the building at 101 Taylor Street in the historic Tenderloin district featuring the words Liberate Comptons. The building is the former Compton's cafeteria, which had been owned by Gene Compton. So there, August 1966, 200 people fought back against police who tried to arrest a trans woman without a warrant. Today, the space is owned by WBP Leasing Inc., which is a subsidiary of Geo Group Inc., and Geo Group is reportedly one of the nation's largest private prison operators and currently uses the building as a halfway house. In quotes, the Compton's Cafeteria Riot site is significant to San Francisco's trans and queer community due to its history of resistance to unjust criminalization and the repression of trans lives, architect Chandra Laborde said about the zoning in a request to the Appeals Board. This history is precisely what renders its current use as a for-profit carceral facility unsuitable. Allowing Geo Group to operate at this historic site contradicts San Francisco's commitments to the LGBTQ plus community and racial justice. You could also say the same thing about still allowing X to be there and Tesla's headquarters, but we're not going to go there. I got all of this information from the Them website.
Yeah. They should at least make sure that this is taken care of and it's a like California historical site and is preserved in San Francisco. So I won't say. I was like, I would think they do the right thing, but not gonna speak for them.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know nowadays. You never know. Their new mayor, we'll see.
Yeah.
So it's no London breed. This next category is recommit to pride. Sounds like a dating show for pride. Recommit to pride.
So honestly, you could do a campaign of that for corporations and be like, hey, this is your time to come back.
And this is what exactly it is. It's a coalition of mostly left-leaning faith leaders urging religious organizations to visibly support queer people during Pride Month, responding to a wave of anti-LGBTQ plus legislation and significant pullback of corporate Pride sponsorships. The coalition is organized by Interfaith Alliance and is backed by a diverse group that includes Baptists, Lutherans, Hindus, Muslims, Jews. So it's interfaith as it involves a public pledge to show solidarity through prayers, statements, visible acts of support for the queer community. Their renewed faith-based support comes as corporations and federal contractors have sharply reduced Pride Month engagement. It's down 39%. For external Pride is what they notate in the article fully. So it's just like, some companies are doing this just externally, finding new ways to kind of be creative. Faith leaders emphasize that religion is too often weaponized against queer people and assert that the majority of religious Americans fully support queer equality, calling on communities of faith to counteract hostility and recommit to public advocacy. So cool story there. We'll see who does commit to it, but I love seeing queer Christians, and I had a bad queer opinion like last year or earlier this year about that, but like there's so many queer Christians, there's so many Christians who are heterosexual and cis, and they don't interpret the Bible in any violent ways that a lot of Christians that do weaponize the Bible do. So getting people to recommit and, be positive during this time to counteract what's going on is going to take an effort that's social like this because, but every bit counts at this point. So glad to see it. This was from Axios. It was an Axios exclusive. So,
look at that.
How about it?
Go ahead, Axios.
Yeah, positive stuff. What else we got?
Honestly, today we're sticking with positive stories this week. So exciting. But the most exciting thing that was announced today is that the Queer Ultimatum Season 2 has been announced as of today, as of this recording. We have dates. We know who the cast members are. We have clips. Queer world rejoiced that the show is back. It took forever. We honestly didn't think we were going to get it.
Forgot about it.
Honestly forgot
about it.
Stop
thinking about it. I was just like, it's just, if it's going to come back, it's going to come back. So, and then Netflix is like, hey, y'all, happy Memorial Day weekend. This is coming. It's like, okay. All right.
Like, we're going to get these episodes during Pride. So the Queer Ultimatum, back, second season. We're very excited. The first batch of episodes will come out June 25th. The second batch will come out on July 2nd. We have a whole, I feel like this is the last diversity initiative that Netflix did because of the way that they broke down this cast
Yeah,
and the mixed
might be.
group that they have between ages and races and backgrounds. Like all the conversations are so very different. And it's going to
Mm,
be
They were
fascinating.
like, "Hey, we hear you."
Mm,
Well, kind of,
right, because they didn't do it for
kind
Love is
of.
Blind.
Yeah, and they
Minnesota.
haven't. They
What's wrong with
haven't.
y'all?
Right,
What's wrong with
Minnesota.
y'all?
Yeah. Mm-mm,
Who
mm-mm-mm.
did
What do you?
this?
What
Who
was
did
your
this?
first impressions of the cast?
Well, obviously, rooting for everybody black.
Mm-hmm. Which is
I was like, man,
one couple.
what a stereotypical couple right there. And I stopped and I was like, oh, we know that Brittany, who is the more feminine one, definitely issued the ultimatum to AJ, figured out that that was correct. And I was like, this is going to be a time. And even in the little clip that they showed talking about Brittany being like, I just continue to strive for the top and I'm always achieving new goals. And my next goal is marriage. She's like, I've accomplished almost everything. And I was like, oh, you're going to be fun.
Yeah.
You are going to be fun. And I already enjoy this. I'm interested in Dana and Megan. Dana and
Well, the
Megan,
top bun.
yeah, the top bun was great. Dana is Lebanese. And so she was talking about her family
Mm-hmm.
and religion and all of the things that were happening there, which I was just like, hey, respectfully, I have a follow up question because you were saying how in your religion they don't like to put this up to the forefront and don't like to make big deals about it. And yet you're on a TV show.
You know,
I have questions
she got on TV to
already,
tell us that we might not have known had she not.
already.
So, you know.
Just, curiosity. Ashley and Marita. I apologize. I'm probably butchering your name. I laughed once I saw the age difference between Ashley and Marita because I was just like, well, obviously, Ashley, who's 30, put the ultimatum to Marita, who's 25. And one of the clips that she had said that, I love you so much. I think we're great. We've been together for so many years, but you just have wandering eyes. And I'm like, baby, she's a
She's
baby.
she's a baby. She's a baby.
She's over here like, I'm still trying to be outside. And you're like, I'm trying to keep you in the house.
Yeah,
Locked up. They won't let me out.
that's so funny. Let me look at their age. Yeah, okay. Ashley
Mm-hmm.
is the one that's 30. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, girl.
Yep. Hey, girl.
You knew what you were getting. And that 5 year difference in the 20 to 25 to 30 is actually still pretty huge. That's significant because when you reach 30, it really is for most, for a good
Mm-hmm.
amount of people. It's like, all right, I'm gonna calm down, ready to settle down. 25,
Yeah.
man. Yeah. So, going to be interesting to
Yes.
see how this goes. We see that they have Joanna Garcia coming back. We
Mm-hmm.
asked them to Garcia Swisher, excuse me. Um, we asked for a different host, did not get it.
Didn't get
So
it.
clearly she signed a multi-season deal or something here. Before we started recording, we were talking about just all of the people they could get in place of Joanna. And it's like, it's not even that I think she's a bad host. I don't remember her hosting actually, but it's just like she doesn't,
It's because she barely did.
yeah, like,
It's because she
well,
was
and
barely there.
she has no connection to us. Like, they should absolutely have a queer host, but even if they had to go with the straight name, like, get somebody that we like and is like, still culture. Like, our dream would be Natasha Leone is what we talked about in pre-pro, which
Mm-hmm.
would just be amazing with the
And then we said
questions she'd
backup
ask.
could be Leah Delaria
Leah Delaria.
because Leah would ask the questions
Mhm.
and it would be glorious. Like
Yeah.
Natasha would allow the drama to play out and then just like stroke the fire, where Leah would start the fire.
Yeah. I feel like Natasha would have questions that are just like, it's not supposed to be messy, but it is. And it comes out of nowhere. So, but anybody would have been better. But, I'm glad that it's on its way back. It'll be interesting to see again how this season goes. But
Mm-hmm.
we will certainly be watching. So,
Because the range of queers that they have here, from
got a range.
the
Got a
hipsters
range.
to the business owners to the emotionally sensitive to the
Mm-hmm.
badasses to religion, faith, all of the things, it is going to be fascinating. I think at least
Yeah.
one couple is going to go home immediately. My
Yeah.
guess is on Pilar and Haley. That's just my immediate guess. But otherwise, this should be a time.
Yeah.
A time. I'm very excited. Already
Interesting that
planning the watch
they
parties.
Yeah, it's interesting that they premiere at the end of June. They were like, we know y'all are busy. We're just gonna hit you with a June, July rollout with the episodes because it was like they could have put it early June and it go through Pride, but that would have been so much for us. That would have
Hmm.
God only knows what's gonna happen on this season with things that people are divided on. So yeah, thanks Netflix for understanding that it probably should be at the end of Pride
Yep.
season. So thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. All right.
Mm-mm-mm. Well,
The next category is fun. We had all, relatively positive stuff. The back end of
yes.
this one is, not the best, but
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
yeah. Mm.
Well, for the folks who don't listen to the sports, this is the part where you fast forward. But for everybody else, let's talk about the first week of the WNBA. Let's talk
It's
about it.
here.
Let's talk
Your
about it.
boy,
First of
it's
all,
here. It is here. How
first of all,
exciting.
shout out to the rookies. My
Yes.
goodness. My
Yes.
goodness. Y'all came out here and put on a dance and a show in
Mm-hmm.
every way, shape, or form. Y'all let the people know that y'all are not to be played with.
At all. They were like, you actually won't. Not this class. This class? Not this class.
Mm-mm.
Like they saw last season and seasons of the past and they were like, well, not us. Not this particular class.
Mm-mm.
Maybe y'all, but we're not the ones to be fooled with at all. So
I
it's
love
really
it.
fun. It's exciting how the season has kicked off. Um, wow, the Mystics, huh?
The Mystics.
The Mystics.
Look, the Mystics are back.
Goodness,
They went back in that office and just high-fived each other. Just ah,
they
because they
nailed
said
it.
we did that. Like going from Aaliyah Edwards to then bringing in Kiki Irfan and
Hmm.
having Sonia Citron, who has she missed a shot?
No, and she's on my fantasy team, so shout
That's
out to
fantastic.
Sonia. Yeah,
I love that
yeah,
for you, friend.
wonderful,
Love that.
wonderful.
Because what?
It was an auto
And
pick.
Kiki
I'm not gonna act like I
already,
picked her. It was an auto pick, but
that's
still,
okay. Still winning for you.
the
But
gods, the
Kiki
basketball gods.
also pissing off Sophie Cunningham in the first game. Ugh,
Mm-hmm.
the world was right.
Yep.
The world was right in
Yeah.
that moment because Sophie got so mad and Kiki just stood there like,
Yeah. What was that? Yeah.
I'm sorry. Were you
Yeah.
talking to me?
Me
Wild. Wild.
laughing. And like when
Mm,
you laugh when something like that goes on, it just shows another level of like unhinged. Like, oh,
yeah.
I'll go there. It's a whole joking thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a fun team out of nowhere to see. Like
Man,
that's the
I'm
cool thing
happy for
about
them.
sports. I am
I'm
too.
so happy for the
Good
Mystics.
good
Like
for
y'all could bring
DC.
me back, maybe.
Yeah,
Like that could be
they
it. I
are.
was like, love that. Love that for
They're gonna
y'all.
buy
Paige,
all the brunch box things that they
yes.
sell. Gonna sell
Yes,
out.
those brunch
Gonna sell
box
out.
is going to be
Yep.
lit in the Mystic
Yes,
Stadium.
very much.
Lit.
Very much so. It was gonna be lit anyway, but
Hmm.
a good team, a good young team too. Like goodness. Shout
Yeah,
out to the Mystics.
if they can keep those folks around.
Mm-hmm. And you'll probably add folks next year. Like obviously this is year one.
Hmm.
I know it's so early. Look at us. We're being hyperbolic. We're being week one, like hyperbolic. But if they could sustain it, they could go, they could upset somebody in the playoffs. I don't think they're ready for prime time, but it would be certainly a free agent city to go to. Like no one's gonna
Hmm.
say no to DC and with good rookies. So yeah, they got it right. That staff, that owner nailed it.
Did well.
Did
They did
well.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Great picks. I was like, same with Paige.
Paige,
I
yep.
was like, not
She's like, don't let
surprised,
these
but
arms fool you.
I did think she was
What?
gonna get bumped and bruised a bit more, but her
She said,
defending,
who? Who?
I
That's
say
what
what?
all of them said. Who
Ooh.
gonna get bumped and
That's
they,
literally they had a
I
group
don't,
chat. They had a group
their
chat and we're
rookie
just dropping
symposium
owls.
was crazy. Like, just like them, like they did this whole like
Not a
gym
rookie
rookie
symposium.
symposium was crazy. Like it went off in the rookie symposium. The workshops,
They all took
crazy.
notes. They all acted on it. They took their
Yeah.
three-step program
Yeah.
and
They
have put
did
it out there.
prison exercises at the rookie symposium or something. They have to. And it was all arms. Like it's all upper body. Like yeah. Like it is wow.
Oh
So
man.
shout out to
Like
Paige.
honestly, because Paige going from the game to then going straight to the weight room, I was like, girl, this
Yeah.
class is different. This class is different.
Yeah.
And that was after, bitch, this was after you. I forget if this was the game that she had to defend Nafisa Collier or if it was a
It
different game
was
that she did, but I
the
think
first
it
one.
was. And she did hold her own. Like, yes, Nafisa
Hmm.
has been killing it from the jump, and
Yeah,
she is already like, oh, y'all
Nafisa is
slighted me
Nafisa.
for that MVP. Like, love Asia.
Yeah,
It's my turn. It's my year.
yeah.
So go
It's
ahead,
my year.
Nafisa Collier. She's made 100% from the free throw, 66% from 3 point, and 56% from field goal range. That is absurd.
Insane.
That's like a straight A student for
Yeah.
basketball percentage. In case you like, for anybody who doesn't know if those things are good or not,
That's what
that's
that
like a
is.
straight A student who did
Yeah.
extra credit type percentage range.
Yeah. They might drug test her.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like, hey, B, if you
Mm.
could they do
If
that.
we could just
For
get
the
this
folks that don't know, they
real
do
quick.
that in other sports. When you have a really good game or something in some sports, especially I know with NBA, they're like, hey, let's drug test you. Let's just
Hmm.
check. So but shout out to Nafisa. Like that's what an
My
amazing
goodness.
start. It's so
My
exciting. All
goodness.
this exciting.
I know so many people are breaking
Yeah.
records. Dewana Bonner
Mm-hmm.
broke a new
Dewana
record.
Bonner. Mm-hmm.
Moved up to
Mm-hmm.
third on the WNBA
Yep.
all-time scoring list.
And then eighth all time rebounding. So she just starting off just breaking records, 2 games in. Yeah,
Hmm.
little record breaking
We love
and
that.
all that. So yeah. The Liberty got their rings. They beat the Aces. The Aces bounced back and won a game last night. But it's gonna be interesting to see who takes this. This is I know it's week 1 and we're supposed to be hyperbolic in our takes, but I don't know who's gonna take this. There's a lot of teams that look really good. There's still people out. There's
Hmm.
some injuries that are key injuries. Copper is out in Phoenix. That's huge for a
I
little
know
while.
that's messing up my fantasy team, but it's
Yeah,
fine. Take your
mine
time,
as
girl.
well.
Take your time. It's
Look,
fine.
this is
I'll
turning
be
to just
waiting
a
for you
podcast
when you're
about our
ready.
our fantasy teams. That's all this segment is turning into. She is out. Did not know that. And I was like, oh, out. Like for real out. So, but yeah, like the Fever look good. Stephanie White having a real coach, as we mentioned before, makes
He's doing great.
a big difference.
Doing great.
Yeah. Woo. I mean, do we get to it now? Because there was the cool news you had about RuPaul's Drag Race, but I could go
Oh yeah,
to
we can wrap up with that. We can
the
wrap up with that.
flagrant hurt around the
Let's.
world.
Oh my goodness. So besides the fact that the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever are going to play each other 5 times this season, that was on purpose. They said, let's get
Yeah,
these ratings up and stuck. Mind you, 2 of the games have been moved here in Chicago to the United Center. So that's the bigger
they
arena
did.
that
Hmm.
they don't. Chicago Sky plays in the McCormick Place. They will be moving it to the United Center each time we play the Indiana Fever. All of these articles that talked about the one little engagement that they had during the game. One thing
On the court, and all of their engagements, Shayna, have been on the court.
on the
It's
court.
been in it's been in the spirit of competition,
They get up
but
and they move
they
on
just
and then they play the
and
game.
they move on. And let me say this. Do I think that they like each other? Not really. I don't think they hate each other, but I don't think they prefer each other. But they're just competitors. How they handled the post game and everything since has been good because it was just like, yeah, they just looked at it as a competitive play. It was rightfully an upgraded foul because, part of they said Angel flopped. I don't think she flopped. I think Caitlin's been in the gym and she caught her off guard. I think that's why she got up like that. Like, hey man, don't be fucking with me like that. Like Caitlin like really did get her. But and I think she's stronger this year. But
I
it
mean,
was
she had to
just
be.
a
She was getting thrown around.
and should be. And she did the right thing with like sticking up for her teammate. This is what I want to see. Caitlin's doing all the right things with this. But it's much ado about nothing if you know sports, if you know competition, or if you will just know that these two professionals are engaged in battle and like things happen. But not this. It just took away from such an amazing start to the weekend in some respects because the headlines were all about this interaction and
Hmm.
um this was the first time I will admit that there were like Angel Reese fans that I was like actually a little annoyed with, where I was like, all right, like some
Ooh,
of
how
this,
come?
like, and more so the ones that didn't understand that this is part of the game, like they're new
Okay.
friends, and I know you want to protect her, and that's the thing is like I'm glad she has people protecting her because of everything that's going on in the misogynoir of it all. But there are some people who came to the sport just like Caitlin Clark fans who don't know ball and don't know women's competition and don't know that Shakira Austin and I'm forgetting her name, who she mixed it up with, but or Chelsea Gray and who mixed it up. There was a couple of people who mixed it up this weekend, but like that just happens in sports. So it wasn't necessarily that Caitlyn was being super malicious or anything too. Like they were projecting things that it was like, no, she gave her a hard foul. Like that's just what happens in sport. So either way, I'm like, oh, we're gonna just do this again this season. Everything's gonna be blown out of proportion for these two. As you mentioned, they're gonna play each other a lot. Like they're in the same division and so close to each other, too, just geographically. I forget Chicago is pretty much a Caitlin playground too, since she went to Iowa, and just Big
Mm-hmm.
Ten area. But yeah, like it was a lot of stuff that, and then obviously on the Caitlin Reese or the Caitlin Clark side, the racist fans are back, the trolls are back, the bad takes are back. Like it's like we're getting takes from RG3 like again. Like I'm like we're gonna do this again. Where I had hoped they had weeded them out a little bit, when they accused Caitlyn of being woke when she spoke up at the end of last year and subsequent interviews and all that. But no, they're back. They're back
Mm-hmm.
being unreasonable and racist. Like hers is always going to be supercharged and heavier than the little annoyance that I got with some of the takes on the Reese side where it's just like, no, like Caitlin Clark was fouled her not because she hates her. She fouled her because this is what happens in sports. Like it's
Yeah.
leave it there.
She quickly,
So
it was a quick explanation. She was like, I would have preferred this foul over her getting that point. And it's
yeah,
like, that is a strategic move.
that's what
And
people do.
Angel got up and was like, yeah, hot in the moment because that's what happens during sports.
That's what
But
happens.
that's what's going on. And then we keep it pushing. But then everything goes to Angel, even though
Yep.
Caitlyn is the one who did the foul.
Yep.
Nobody's going to
Like she
hold
can't react.
that to it. If it was reversed, y'all would
Mm-hmm.
still be like, all the things. Nobody's defending Angel, but if it was reversed, Caitlyn would have been defended the whole time. So
Yeah.
that's the piece that is wild, and the racism is loud and
Again
obnoxious, and they're
and
just
back.
like, here's what it is. I think Chide Agumake has a new show that she's doing for
Mm-hmm.
herself, like it's a solo show that she's doing, and
Good.
one of the main points that she made that I appreciated was if the players aren't reacting, we shouldn't be reacting. So she's like, read the room. If the players aren't reacting, then we should not be
Simple as
reacting
that.
as people who are watching. And I said, wow, what an easy breakdown to do that. I was like, most of the time, people are going to come up, defend their teammates, and then they're going to keep it pushing. If it
Yeah.
continued the rest of the game, then that's saying something bigger. But it
Yeah.
literally did not continue the rest of the game. It was in that moment, it was hot, and they kept it moving. So take those words that Shanae has said, because that makes the most sense. And it's the
It
simplest way
really
to put it.
does. I love that. I just like let them just play. These are all basketball and competition related things. Like people just make
Mm-hmm.
it so much bigger than
They
what it
do. I was
is.
like, women's sports are aggressive, y'all.
It
We be
is.
we be hitting
It
people.
is. It
We,
is.
we
It
do
is. It doesn't
stuff.
matter how many examples of that you show them. Like people were showing them the examples from the weekend. Like, and it was Chelsea Gray and Jonquel Jones that mixed it up. But it's just
Hmm.
like that's what
Theirs was
happens.
funny
Like theirs is funny, but
because
people get in each
not the
other's face
ball
all the
starting to
goddamn
fight.
time. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. This is yeah. I was like, yeah, buckle up. It's just gonna take some cycles of it, but it was still a great week one, and I'm very excited for the season. So the WNBA script writers were in their bag. They really
Hmm.
they they got it. They were like, and then Angel gets up and says, are you fucking crazy? Like it's get it. Because that's the thing. It's just like they're such a draw. I just want them to spread it around with the spotlight more this
Hmm.
season and all that. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll leave it there for the
Yeah,
WNBA. Mm, 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 mm.
that's fair. That's fair.
Fucking
Shout out to the
Cassie.
script writers.
Uh, right, right. All right, let's move on to our advice segment. Am I a bad queer? Where we get real about your questions and dilemmas. Got something on your mind? Don't keep it to yourself. Send your questions to backwards.com. Hit us up on IG at backwards pod or email us at backwards@backwards.com. So this first one is from Anonymous, and it is a follow-up to one of last week's Am I Bad Queer about having like all white friends, I believe, and just like, is that is that accurate description?
Yeah,
It's like,
it
yeah,
was
having an all
the
white friend group.
boyfriend. It was the black boyfriend with the white boyfriend and saying that he didn't have any black friends. And
Yeah,
when he brought it up, he was being defensive, and we were like, "Don't be that."
there you go. See, way better than they ain't got no white friends or black friends. So this person wrote back, and I was like, fair. To follow up with this, Anonymous says, I'm a bi cis white woman who grew up in predominantly white spaces and worry that I have that vibe y'all mentioned in a recent episode. I'm wondering how to rid myself of that vibe, good avenues to racially diversify my friend group in genuine ways, and doing that in ways that are welcomed or wanted by non white folks. Thank you, Anonymous. Good question. They're like, hey, I think I got that vibe.
All of a
So
sudden, you
what do
stop it. You're
I?
listening to the episode, and then you just
Oh,
look around the room, and you're like,
it's
"Oh,
me.
oh shit, oh
Yeah.
shit, how did I get here?"
Yeah.
Ah.
Well, the first step is asking and just being aware of it. So this is a good first step. Growing up in predominantly white spaces is something that a lot of people, white people, experience because they're the majority in this country. So you do have to go out your ways to make sure that you have a diverse group. You have to, but that starts also from a place of like pure curiosity and humility and love of people and other people that aren't yourself. So like going to spaces that aren't built for you, but not centering yourself
Mm-hmm.
are ways you can meet folks, like going to mutual aid groups or going to local um, Black and POC like organizations to help out and meet people and like, be able to serve and support your community, but also, again, work with these Black and POC groups are great. But again, don't center yourself. Um, Looking at like what content you consume is a way to like personally just kind of look and take inventory about the things that you consume. How much real Black American history do you know? How much Black history globally that you know? But also just like who you follow, what you're reading. Is it all white queer voices or is it all white voices? Like, are you diversifying the people that you listen to? Friendships is interesting because it's like that's something that like naturally has to happen. Like it can't be performative. You can't force it. So showing up consistently and meeting over shared interests. So when you do go to these spaces that aren't built for you, you know, building a genuine friendship is where you could do that, where it's like not guilt free. Y'all are or y'all have shared interest and can go from there. Being okay with being the only white person in the room is huge. And taking inventory of like what your white friends do say, like what their views are on things are. Is it racist views? Is it unconsciously biased views? Like what is your circle of white friends or your village of white friends like? What are their views on things, and do you challenge them? Do you share what you've learned, when you do like kind of look at the things you consume, and the history that you learn? So I mean those are ways that you could do it because it's not like, hey, do this, and it's something that has happened gradually and it has to be genuine. So hopefully those things help. Shana, anything
Mm-hmm.
else to help this person?
Yeah, I think it's one of those where you do have to be genuine, not one of those like go out and say, "I don't have any black friends, so I'm going to go out and find." No,
Yeah, it's not like something you can
don't
just pick up,
don't do
at
that.
Costco,
Don't
you
do
know,
that.
even though we're in there a
And
lot now.
there is a lot of
More.
reasons or a lot of ways for you to also support black folks, and then that can inherently put you into spaces that have a higher amount of black and brown people so that you can naturally meet them. Going to performances, whether it's music, poetry, uh, podcasts, being in spaces where it's like a black owned business or uh a jazz fest that has a bunch of jazz black performers and things like that, where it's like it's not one of those where it would just be a black audience most likely, but are welcome to everyone. It just happens to be that majority of it is going to be a black audience because we don't We also don't need you in there taking up space. So don't be afraid to ask if like, hey, I'm interested in this event, but I also don't want to take up space. Is it all right if I join, et cetera, et cetera. So be able to go and like find where those things are, but educate yourself as well. I would look at the bigger picture of like why your friend group has turned out the way that it does.
Yeah. Is
If
it
your friend group
just
shares the,
geography?
yeah, like is it geography? Because I mean, if you're out in the middle of Iowa, then you know that's gonna happen.
Right.
it's
Right. I was
it's
like,
gonna happen.
depending on your location, but if you're
Depending
like
on location, you
Sex
know,
in the City from the 90s and it's only white
right?
friends
Like
in
if
New
you're in
York,
Brooklyn and
then
that's not you're in DC, and that's literally Chocolate City, then
if you're
we have a
near
big
a
problem.
major city,
Yes,
it's
then
like,
we have a lot more questions. There's a lot more natural ways to go about that, but also
mhm.
just making sure that like you kind of look inward to see like what your unconscious biases are and how they appear, and maybe what your conscious biases are and how they appear, and see that first, and then start
Mhm.
to kind of move it. You could also, I hope that you have friends that have Black friends that you can go and like begin to build a relationship with as well. It does feel wild to be sitting here explaining to white folks how to be friends with Black folks. So I'm just going to
But
recognize that. But hey, you
honestly,
asked, and we're going to leave it open here. So
honestly,
I just
you
wanted
gotta
to
spell
address
it
the
out for
elephant
them.
in the room, but sometimes we just got to say it. So if this is something that you have to say to some friends, here's your clip. Go from that. Good
Yeah,
luck.
I don't know. I think maybe we should be guiding these situations because we leave them to it, then God only knows what that turns into. Also,
Oh,
another point I
man.
was going to make is like another reason why, separately, just stepping back in the WNBA thing, I was like, Caitlin
Mm,
Clark is probably hanging out with more Black people than she's ever hung out with because she's from Iowa. And I know she did AAU and all that, but I was like, that's also another factor in this. Like, she's hanging out with more Black women. So it's
mm-hmm.
that
And
it
she's loving
changes.
it.
She yeah, and loving it. And you see
Loving
it,
it.
you see
She is
I
like,
can
this is
see the
amazing.
difference.
Aaliyah Boston is my
Exactly.
best friend. Tawana Bond
Yes,
is my auntie.
exactly.
Like, she's
Yep.
learning all
Yep.
the things. Somebody's cooked something with
Exactly.
season. Even Marina
Yeah.
Mabry is out here making stuff
Wow.
with some seasoning on it. So it's just, here we are.
Yeah. So, but for her, it would have been geography, right? Like she's from Iowa, and I'm sure wherever she grew up around is probably almost 80-90% white. So, like, you would have to travel and really keep up with, you know, Black and POC people. So, yeah, I feel like that these are really good things that we shared. Again, it's not something you could force and all that. So, good luck to you.
Hmm.
And thanks for writing in. That's a good, like, hey, so what if I
She's
got
like,
the vibe?
I could be the problem.
Is this me?
I
So,
want to fix it.
yeah,
So yay
goes
for
to the
that.
curiosity thing, a genuine curiosity, a love of humans. Like, we really got to get at some base level shit now because some
Yep.
people, they're trying to make empathy like a bad thing. Like, it's crazy. So, that's where we're in now. Happy Pride.
Mm,
Happy Pride.
hollering.
Happy Pride.
Our next Am I a Bad Queer comes from Viv. Viv asks, Am I a bad queer for dreading summer? Because all my friends are trying to matchmake me into a relationship. Oh no, this is about to be me this summer.
I feel like summer.
Oh man. Viv says, I love queer joy. I love queer love, but I also love my space. Every cookout turns into a low key dating audition, and I just want to be left alone with my iced coffee and vibes. Is it bad to not want a summer romance when it feels like everyone else is chasing one?
Hmm.
You know, Kris, I feel like you have to answer this.
Oh, Viv. Look at you loving yourself. No, there's nothing wrong with you wanting space and not wanting to deal with another person during the summer.
Mm,
Like some people, like again, yeah, the summer's not like it's heating up and like, yeah, go out there. But yeah, it's just like you just want to go to the cookout and have a good time, listen to music, drink
eat
your
some food.
drinks and eat some good food, feel the warmth. Hopefully it's not so hot and humid. But anyways, yes, this is great. I love people who are just like, can I just be like, can I don't want it to be a red balloons. Your friend comes out and hands people red balloons and shit, and you're just trying to
Screaming.
I'm just here for the cookout. So let them know. You should let them know though. Let your friends know. Give them and lay down the rules of the summer. It's a summer of self. I want to be selfish. I want to do things I want to do. I don't want to have to worry about somebody. I don't want to have to consider somebody's
Mm-hmm.
feelings and everything. Like tell your friends, or they'll probably sounds like they'll set you up. So just let your friends know. But nothing wrong with this.
Too funny. Kris told me that I can't end the summer with a romance. So I'll just put that to you as well, Viv. We'll be in this together.
I said you need to go out there. you need to go out
Kris,
there.
Kris says I need to
Okay.
be outside.
You got to be out there.
So I'm gonna be
Yeah.
outside.
You just need to be outside. You need to have a Chicago summer for sure. Like,
I'm gonna be outside.
yeah, a full run, full run, full. I wouldn't even say full healed. I don't know where you're at in your process, but seems like you're in a better space. But like this, I think this would be your summer. And that doesn't mean I'm putting somebody on you. This could be whatever you want it to be. I just want you to experience
Yeah.
Chicago because
Yeah.
I'm the mayor of Chicago. I went once, so
You are.
obviously I
You
know
are.
all
And
about
we had a
Chicago.
time.
We
You were all
and
over.
had a slice. I can't imagine
Okay.
it being well. We had a warm day, but summer in Chicago, yeah. Please go have fun. Like you're supposed to. So,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
too,
No.
Viv.
You too,
You too.
Viv. Literally
You
do what
too.
Kris said. Tell your friends, summer of self, leave me alone. The only dates I want to
That's
go
it.
on are friend dates to
Yeah.
hang out with my friends.
Don't set
And
me up for
that's it.
shit.
Don't
And
set me up
Viv,
for
if
shit.
you change your mind because you meet somebody, it's okay to change your mind too. Like,
That
don't be
part.
like, I have to stay on the summer self, but you met somebody that, could be some. So yeah, just whatever self is for you, just, go with that. So,
Mm-hmm.
and you too, Shana. Summer of self. summer, summer of self. There you go. Well,
Thank you.
that's
Thank
it
you,
for
friend.
this week's Maya Backqueer. Send your questions to backqueers.com. Hit us up on IG at backqueerspod or email us at backqueers@backqueers.com.
All right. What type of backwards would we be if we didn't have unpopular queer opinions? We are going to circle back on a bad queer opinion that I usually just like to address, especially because we are moving into the like Gemini,
Geminis.
Leo, Virgo type season.
This is
And
messy. If you knew astrology, this is
I,
messy that you're bringing this up for Gemini.
I, I just want, I'm saying this in defense of
Hilarious.
Geminis and
Okay.
Leos and Virgos.
Okay.
So I'm
All
going to make
right.
that clear. I am saying this
Okay.
in defense, especially because I have a
Uh,
solid amount of friends
get
who are
behind me.
Geminis and Virgos and Libras. I've realized that those are my main friend groups.
Yeah. Yeah. Air
I,
signs. Yeah, it makes sense. Hmm.
well, look at that. So
I like Geminis too. We're
just
air signs together, so I do understand more
gonna
than
circle
most.
back on
So,
this. Stop.
hmm.
My bad queer opinion is to stop using astrology to excuse bad behavior. Starting to hear people use it more often. Oh, sorry. I'm a Pisces, so I'm late. I'm a Leo, so I'm gonna be out here, but I'm throwing bells and stuff. I'm like, stop using astrology to excuse your bad behavior, especially going into summer. We're not doing all this. I know I'm gonna be in a lot more queer spaces. A lot more things are gonna coming up. I know a million times people are gonna be like, Shana, what's your sign? Oh, that doesn't. No, we're not doing all of this. There are certain parts of this, but your bad behavior is not stemmed in your astrological sign.
Or is it?
It's not.
Okay.
It's just, it's not. It's not.
Fair.
I said what I said. I
Fair.
said what I said. There's a lot of people who disagree with me right now. And I'm okay with that. That's why it's a bad queer opinion. And I
Yeah.
am okay with that because there are too many people in this world that are not doing the same things. And you should just leave it be.
Let me look
So,
in the thesaurus for
what thesaurus?
excuse. I'm like, you shouldn't excuse it. However, it
Mm,
does inform bad behavior, is what I would say. Like it shouldn't excuse it because
mm-mm.
you still made the decision. But some astrological traits do inform some bad behavior, I would say. So just putting that out there. And I think if you knew a little
And
bit
so does
more about
childhood trauma.
astrology, that too. And some of these things, it's different. But I think if you knew more about astrology, even a surface level amount like I do, you'd be like, okay, well, kind of lines up. You see the patterns with people.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's environment is very different.
Mm-hmm.
But it certainly informs some bad and good behaviors. So
It could inform. I'll
yeah,
take
but
the inform.
excuse,
I will balance, but excuse,
you're right.
absolutely not.
Yeah, it
Absolutely
shouldn't.
not. You could just be like, oh,
Aligned.
I only did this toxic thing because you know what? I'm a Capricorn and that's just how we be doing.
Yeah.
No,
Yep.
that's not, I'm not
Can't do it.
excusing that. I'm not
Yeah.
excusing that. But if your behavior is more likely to go into these areas because you are a Capricorn, like you're saying, inform, I can accept that.
Okay.
But to
That's fair.
excuse,
I don't think you
absolutely
should
not.
excuse it.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Know the difference. And I
Yep.
was in defense. Again, like I said, in defense of my Geminis, my Leos, my Virgo friends, and all of that going into that season.
Okay. All right. Yeah, get behind me. I was like, I don't know what that Gemini did for you to have to come on here to try and
I just knew it
protect
was
them,
coming up
but
next. I just know it's coming up next.
okay. Somebody's
All
gonna
my
counter
Gemini
this and be like,
friends,
stop excusing Gemini behavior.
you'd be
No,
like,
then you'd be like, what?
I was like, that's not what I said. That's not what
Yeah.
I said.
They're like, you're a Gemini bad behavior apologist is what you could be labeled as, but it's fine.
It's like, you don't know me.
You're right. I just have a community note. Make sure you're not U-hauling for financial reasons. I
Oh, that's a
know
good one.
that y'all should know this, but I do want to say it again. Please don't U-haul for financial reasons. Oh, we can just move in together. No.
Mm-mm.
I promise you, it's worth living separately until you really know the person and you're not locked into a lease that you have to break and to, move in and all that. So just please, as we get into the summer of selves and
Mm-hmm.
others, yeah, don't sign that
Don't do it.
lease.
Don't do it.
Don't.
It's more expensive.
Hey, for Pride, our Pride campaign
Mm-hmm.
here at Bagwares,
Yeah.
don't sign that lease. Don't. Don't. Live separately
Ah.
and then see.
Mm-hmm.
So, and
Because
we say that out of care. We don't say that out of judgment.
we
We say
do.
that out of care.
Yes.
So, don't.
Okay. The economy is rough right now.
It's rough. It
You don't
is.
want to.
It is.
You don't want
I'd
to. Mm-mm.
yeah.
Mm-mm.
I'd rather you like move in with a friend than
Mm-hmm.
somebody that, can dance and has a great IG and maybe is the sign that you want. Yeah, just don't. Just take a beat.
Yeah.
See if you like them.
Yeah.
So, don't sign that lease.
Good call.
My God.
Good call. Because the way you moving out is more expensive. Because then you pay
Man.
double the expenses.
Oh,
And you have to go and sign into another
the
thing and probably pay
time,
another
Shana,
deposit.
the time,
The time is so much.
the fight, with it,
Who's gonna
seeing who
keep
gets
what?
what. The
Any pets
moving,
involved? Don't do it.
the moving itself. The
Moving
moving
has not gotten
itself.
cheaper.
And then quiet, angry moving. Because, well, I'll say, well, not all these situations end badly, but just even moving away from somebody you're breaking up with is just like, it's would not recommend. Moving already
Mm-hmm.
sucks. So, Mm. Oh, that's all we got for you, though.
That's what we got. All right.
Yeah.
Great PSA.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I
Bad
think
Quiz
so.
campaign. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up the show. But we would never leave you without giving shout outs to our faves. My shout out this week is a circle back from the shout out that Kris gave a few weeks ago to the book 710 Split by Karmen Lee. I devoured that book. Devoured it. It is so good. It's filled with queer tension. Literally, it's like 13 chapters of queer tension. And I'm just like, I love it. And then it led to, I was trying to put up like descriptor words earlier, and the best one I came up with was like delicious. It was like delicious
I like
descriptions
that.
of their intimacy
I like
and
that.
how they like in a healthy way broke down walls and barriers. I'm saying as much as I can without spoiling it so that they could
Okay.
better connect with each other. I loved it. So shout out to Karmen Lee for the books. I was like, she has a bunch of others, and I'm probably going to go and devour those as well. So you can follow and support at author Karmen Lee, and that's Karmen with a K.
Ooh, Shana's summer reading list.
Okay. Be like
It'd
Obama.
just be that one book.
Be like Obama.
It's just one book.
Put these. It's
That'd
gonna
be
be all
good.
of Carmen's books, and be
Right.
like, you're welcome.
Just like, all right, we got it. My shout out is a re-shout out to Quita Loves Sports, sending love to one of my favorite sports content creators. She's created a well-researched and well-produced content for years now. So just want to show love to her YouTube and her page. She's at Quita Loves Sports. She got caught up in some Reese and Clark flack this week for her opinions. She had just given a middle of the road kind of opinion, and again, it was just such an unreasonable week of WNBA coverage again. So shout out to her. She makes such good content, as I mentioned. So y'all follow her for really in-depth WNBA insights and stuff. So yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, that wraps up the show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Can we talk about things? I'm sorry that I'm